channel where AI meets cybersecurity to shape the future of digital safety. We are thrilled to have you here as we explore the exciting world of AI powered security solutions. Whether you are a tech enthusiast, a cybersecurity professional, or someone curious about how AI is revolutionizing the way we protect our digital world, you are in the right place. Here, I'll break down complex concepts, share cutting edge insights, and keep you updated on the latest in AI driven security. Stay tuned for engaging content, helpful topics, and expert discussions that will inspire and empower you to take on the ever evolving cybersecurity landscape. We're so glad you're here. Let's learn, grow, and secure the future together. In today's video, I'm going to dive deep into one of the most stealthy and dangerous threats in the world of cyber attacks, fileless malware. Now, what makes fileless malware so tricky to deal with, unlike traditional malware that leaves file behind, fileless malware runs directly in memory, making it really hard to detect. But don't worry, I'm going to show you how to detect and even protect against these types of attacks using a basic detection technique using Python and some cool techniques. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So, first thing first, what exactly is fileless malware? Well, fileless malware is a type of malicious software that doesn't rely on files being written to disk. Unlike regular malware that installs itself as a file on your system, fileless malware runs entirely in the memory, making it far more difficult to detect using traditional file based detection tools. Well, fileless malware typically targets legitimate system tools like PowerShell or Windows Management Instrumentation (WMI) to execute its malicious code. And because it doesn't leave file on disk, it's harder for traditional antivirus software to flag it. So we it's not easy to directly find this malware. Now let's talk about how fileless malware works. As we just talked, fileless malware is a sneaky and it can use a variety of techniques to gain control. Some of the most common techniques include memory based execution. Fileless malware does not rely on files being written to the disk. Instead, it exploits the computer's memory, RAM, to execute its payload. This makes detection based on traditional signature based antivirus methods difficult, since no file is stored permanently on the system. And the traditional antivirus solution looks for the malicious files, but since there is no file, can't be detected. Now, the next thing that fileless how it works is by exploiting the um, it takes advantage of the legitimate system tools and processes to execute malicious activities. For example, PowerShell, WMI, Microsoft Office macros, they all can be used by attackers to deliver and execute malicious code without leaving any traces. There is a targeted exploitation where attackers may exploit vulnerability in software or the operating system to inject malicious code directly into the memory space of running applications. And then fileless malware is also capable of maintaining persistence even without leaving files behind. It can leverage system processes that are likely to persist across system reboots. For instance, attackers may use the Windows registry, a scheduled task, or other system mechanisms to execute the malicious code after rebooting the system. So, this is how the fileless malware works. Now, there are we can talk about the detection, and in this video, I have uh, basically added a script example script code which can do the basic detection, and basically it's going to use psutil as the library, as the utility to identify any suspicious process, any known tools that may indicate malicious activity, network monitoring. It tracks unusual network behavior like command and control servers, and any execution of suspicious scripts such as PowerShell 1 or VB script or JavaScript. So that's a basic script that I have created. And then there will be an advanced detection. So monitor system processes, system calls, and memory behavior to identify abnormal patterns that could indicate fileless malware. This method focus on detecting malicious activity based on its behavior. The code that I was just talking about, so I have divided it into three parts. The first part of the code is a script which is monitoring the suspicious process. It uses the psutil library to check if PowerShell or other potential malicious processes are running. We loop through the process and check if any of them match known malicious tools. If a suspicious process found, log it as an alert. The second code is about monitoring the network activity. So monitor network connections. We check for connections on suspicious ports like port 4444 and 4445, which is commonly used by attackers for command and control communication. So I use psutil.net connections to look for established connections on this port. The third example talks about the suspicious script, any script that is running. Basically, it's going to the code. This part of the code is going to look for any PowerShell script or Visual Basic scripts or Java scripts. If any of these scripts are found running, we log them as suspicious because they could indicate fileless malware in action. Now, if I put it all together, combining these three checks, monitoring suspicious process, network activity, and scripts, I can get a pretty good idea if something malicious is happening on the system. And if all three indicators show suspicious activity at the same time, that's a red flag. So now, if this is the basic detection method, but there will be limitations of the basic detection method. It can run into false positives. So not every use of PowerShell is malicious. And while this basic detection works for some cases, more advanced fileless malware might use encryption, obfuscation, or even advanced evasion techniques to bypass the detection. Okay, so what else can we do? In the real world, machine learning detection is leveraged to detect fileless malware by analyzing behavior anomalies in system activity based on patterns learned from previous attacks. ML models trained on large data sets containing information about normal system behavior, such as process execution, network traffic, and system calls. And by learning the typical behavior of a system, these models can identify deviations or unusual patterns indicative of a fileless malware attack. ML model improve its ability to accurately distinguish between normal and malicious activity, allowing for proactive and efficient detection of fileless malware. Now, one of the tool endpoint detection and response tools are designed for in-depth continuous monitoring of endpoint activity to detect and respond to threats like fileless malware. These tools work by tracking system behavior in real time, analyzing processes, network activity, and fileless script execution. They provide detailed visibility into what is happening on endpoints and help identify malicious actions that traditional antivirus might miss, especially for stealthy fileless malware that doesn't leave file behind. And of course, integrating your detection system with a same platform helps collect, analyze, and act on data from across your network. So this is the advanced technique. And then disabling the macros and script, um, user awareness trainings to educate the users on the risk of phishing. So these are some of the techniques that can be leveraged. Now, let's talk about the let's things up with a few best practices for preventing fileless malware in the first place. So, user awareness training educate users to avoid opening suspicious emails and links, application file listing, whitelisting. It only allow trusted applications to run. And same for patch management. If you keep your software up to date to close any vulnerabilities, the fileless malware may not be able to uh, take advantage of those vulnerabilities and run in the environment. If you don't need any macros and any scripting tools, so disable any unnecessary scripts and macros running in the environment. Fileless malware is a growing threat, but by monitoring system behaviors, we can detect and prevent it before it causes damage. And that's a wrap on today's video. I hope you now have a better understanding about the fileless malware, why it's such a serious threat, and how we can use Python to detect it, and the EDR and advanced machine learning techniques to detect it. Remember, while fileless malware can be tough to catch, with the right tools and strategies, we can stay one step ahead. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more content like this. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or suggestions, or if you are using other tools to detect fileless malware. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe online and keep learning. Catch you in the next video. Thank you.